So,
Right, Hunter here again, and we're going to do an interview now with a crop circle maker, Matthew Williams. Probably well known, you probably know of him. And there's who you used to make crop circles there.
I did, yeah. The Bilderbergers are leaving, by the way. They're all shouting over there, going like "Urgh," in megaphones. But yes, yes. Used to make crop circles. Now I just do this TV channel called Circle Makers TV, trying to help people understand the truth about what's behind crop circles and why people make them, and why they're real, even though they're made by people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think all crop circles are man-made, or?
Mostly all the crop circles that I've experienced,
Yeah.
man-made.
Because there is some footage out there, isn't there, of orbs that are supposed to be making crop circles.
Yeah, I mean, I was badly interviewed, unfortunately, by a TV company the other day, and I got sent this disc, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be interviewed on that. And one of the things they did is they cut me up. So they asked me my opinion on that footage, which is called the Oliver's Castle
That's
footage,
right.
and it was made by a guy called John Wabe.
Yes.
He worked for a TV company that had their offices inside the HTV studios in Bristol.
Yeah.
Now I was interviewed, like, what do you think about that footage? And I said, well, it's CGI for a start, and then cut. That's it. And then they go to some crop circle researchers who go, yeah, yeah, couldn't have been made by people. It would have to be like really impressively done. And how could they have gone and sort of like filmed that footage in the morning and then produced this, this
Well,
sort
you've
of
got your
stuff in the.
opportunity now to say what they cut out. So,
Well, they cut out the fact that I said his name is John Wabe. He
yep.
works for a TV company and he's a CGI artist.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have had time to take it from the 4 o'clock in the morning. It gets light, so then he could have gone to Bristol and brought it over in the afternoon. So yeah, definitely he had time to do it. And especially if you did all the orb stuff first, all he was doing is superimposing it. Like you have a green screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was basically superimposing his balls of light footage on top of the crop circle, bang, and off you go. It was.
A lot of people might be disappointed to hear that crop circles are man-made, though.
Well, this is why I did the TV show, because there's a lot more to it than that. It's not just about being man-made. It's about the fact that people who make the circles have had strange experiences, seen balls of light whilst they've been making the circles.
Have they?
Yeah, I have,
Have
and
you had that experience
I've had
yourself?
that
Could
experience.
you could you tell us about one of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen balls of light sort of lift off and move. You have little sort of speckles that appear, and you think like, is my vision going wrong? Because you see like little lights go, around. We've had flashes of light where the whole sky sort of illuminates, and there's no thunder sound. I even got a scientist along because we were telling him about this flashing, and he said that's bullshit, mate. He said, because I'm a scientist, I'm an astronomer, I'm out there every night, and I've never seen these flashes. We said, well, come and watch us make a circle and see if you see them. And he was out there, and lo and behold, he saw these flashes. He said, well, I don't understand what this
Well,
is.
I've actually seen flashes in the sky myself
Yeah,
when I've been out UFO hunting,
there
and I
we are.
flashed a torch back at them, and they flashed back at me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know that you're telling the truth
You
on that,
can get a
100%.
reaction.
I've actually got it on film.
Yeah, you've got Stephen Greer. I mean, he uses his lasers. I've
Yes,
used lasers
I
to get
have
a
as well.
reaction. I mean, sat in a car near a crop circle once, and we had this ball of light that literally, from arm's length, I'd say was probably like that in the sky. I mean, my friend, we got out of the car, we were sort of holding each other by the shoulders, literally, like we thought we were going to get sort of taken away by something. Um, so yeah, I'm not a disbeliever, but I started off as a UFO researcher. Used to do a lot of TV programs, radio shows,
Yes.
write for UFO magazine when it was still around, UFO reality magazine, Alien Encounters magazine.
Yeah.
So I've done all that sort of stuff, and many TV documentaries, and but then I sort of looked into crop circles. We did this thing in Cardiff called the Cardiff UFO Conference, or the South Wales UFO Conference. I had Colin Andrews there.
Right.
I didn't even really know about crop circles because I sort of studied UFOs. That was my main thing, ufology. And he said, yeah, go to Wiltshire and you'll see these crop circles. I thought, well, the one thing about ghosts or UFOs is they're never bloody there when you need them.
No, that's right. Yeah.
You go and you want to see a ghost. It's kind of like always behind you, or sort of like throwing things off shelves. You don't
Yeah.
get to actually sort of like grip it.
Yeah.
With the crop circle subject, this crop circle is still there when you actually go to see it. It's still visible. You can touch it, you can feel it. Take samples, send them off. And I thought, well, what a great way to kind of find out about the subject is to get down there and look at it that close. Spent a little bit of time looking around, spoke to people, and people were kind of like nudging me all the time, going, but it's people, it's people.
But
And I found out that it was people.
yeah.
I sort of met them.
But
And
some scientific experiments have been done on some crop circles, and the wheat's been affected in a certain way.
well, this is the thing. You've got to actually check your sources, because one thing I found out about crop circles is that there's a lot of people sort of determined. They're really determined to sort of make up stories about crop circles, and sort of There's a few people who call themselves scientists.
Yeah.
There's one guy, unfortunately, I've got to say, Mr. Levengood, who calls himself Dr. Levengood,
Yeah.
says that he got his doctorate as an honorary doctorate from the National Academy of Sciences in the United States, and we checked that out, and it's not true. There's Professor Glickman. He no longer uses the title after we found out that he gave that title to himself.
All right.
There's people out there. Unfortunately, this business about the cellular changes in the plants, it comes from one guy. It comes from Dr. Levengood. It's repeated by a lot of people as being sort of like the verbatim truth, and it's not. You need to check your sources with this stuff. The bends in the plants, they've got a knuckle.
Yes,
And
that's what I was talking. Yes.
yeah, when you lay the plant against the ground, it has a natural effect because they grow about a couple of inches in a day. So like if you watch the plants in time lapse, they're growing very quickly during the
Yes.
day, and they can move, they can turn. So if you bend a plant down to the ground, then it wants to return back up to the light. So it uses these knuckles as a sort of a reflex point,
Right.
and it starts growing back up towards the light again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So if you play with the plants and push them down, they want to get back up. So within a day, or within even half a day, they'll be standing up. If we were to flatten in the morning crop, it would be like that by lunchtime. It'd be like that by the evening, and it would start growing back up. It's known as phototropism. And yet these crop circle researchers, who are supposed to be like experts, don't
Yeah.
know this word, phototropism. Even though myself as a researcher, we've told them phototropism. They don't seem to. It just doesn't get into the brain. There's like a filter system going on here
Yeah.
where they don't want to hear these things and understand what we're saying. But
So it's quite to make the point there that even though you're saying that's like you probably think that most crop circles are man-made,
yeah.
you are still a believer of UFOs, and you have had experiences while these crop circles are being made.
The funny thing is, I went out there to actually disprove that it was people, because I found out that it was, disprove that it was aliens, sorry, because I found out that people had done them.
Yes.
And we ended up, by the end of it, believing that it's actually the real phenomena is people making them. It attracts an energy,
Yes.
and people see strange things in and around crop circles. Now, you could say that that's suggestion. It
Yeah.
might be. It might be that if you tell somebody that something is real, like a crop circle, and say that is real, then it puts them in a headspace where suddenly they're turned on.
Yeah.
And when they're turned on, strange things happen to them, and they see weird things. And I say, well, is that negative? I don't think that's negative. I think it's just that it's the headspace that you're in. And maybe, to a certain degree, this is why the crop circle researchers are trying to win the war. They're kind of trying to win the war of saying, well, it's not people because it's so magical. But what they don't realise is that you can induce that magic, whether it's people or aliens. And,
But some people might say to you, but no one's ever been caught making a crop circle.
oh, they have.
Have they?
Oh yeah. And this is the thing, again, it's just down to who you speak to. It's like there's never any, according to the researchers, there's never any half-finished crop circles. But then, yes, there are, but they don't put them on their websites,
Right.
because they don't want you to see that. They want to sort of withhold that information. And I mean, I show plenty of photos when I do lectures of half-finished crop circles where, the teams come back on night 2 and night 3 to finish them off. And people will say, well, there wasn't anyone in that crop circle, otherwise they would have seen them. Well, the researchers weren't there. I can guarantee you the researchers were not there when these circles were being finished. And the couple of times they have been, there's like, ask Andrew Perker, for instance. Andrew Perker has been there and watched these people on night 2 finishing the crop circle.
Right.
Yeah, but yet when people will tell you the story about, oh, but something happened on night 2, they won't tell you that Andrew Perker was there watching people doing it. We've had many researchers invited in to watch these things being done. They'll deny it. They'll always deny it.
How long does it roughly take then to create a pretty good crop circle?
Well, if you're on the ball and you've got everything in preparation and you've got enough team members, bear in mind that people run out of time, so they
Yeah.
have to continue on night 2. If you've got enough people, some of the biggest formations have taken like 19 people to complete in
Right.
one night. So some of them have taken 2 nights but not been discovered. So everybody thinks when they discovered it took 1 night. But actually some crop circles have taken 2 nights, but because of their location on the top of the hill and in the fog, they weren't discovered. So
And while we're on the subject of UFOs and crop circles in general, as we all know, recently Dr. Stephen Greer and the Disclosure Project have had the People's Hearing in the United States and all that.
Yep.
What's your opinion on that and the small alien body?
I think that the work he's doing is very good. It's bringing forward real credible witnesses, and that's important. It's very good work. He comes to Wiltshire in the summer. He does his CSETI stuff where he tries to make contact with lights, in the distance, and it has had some effect. I mean, one of his researchers, Simeon Hine, who goes on the CSETI program, he came down to Wiltshire, found out that we were making the crop circles, and now he tells people that it is people doing the crop circles, but it's about synchronicities, it's about telepathy, it's about trying to connect with something else that comes through people to get the ideas for the designs. And he's actually on side now. But speaking about his CSETI work, he brought his lasers down, and we were doing a reenactment for a Japanese TV crew of a UFO sighting we had, whereby a little ball of light was being chased by a helicopter,
Yes.
and we were there shining our lights at it. And this ball of light was zipping around. The helicopter couldn't keep up with it, so we shone our lights at the helicopter. The helicopter came overhead and was coming up and down. He was really pissed off. He had missiles on the side
Yeah.
and guns, and then it sort of disappeared off into the distance. And so we repositioned ourselves on a hill, and we said, "There's that ball of light again." So we sort of stopped the car, got out, and we saw this thing going through the fields, and it went up into a saucer, and then the saucer went and shot off. So we saw that. That was a real experience for us. We were trying to reenact this for a Japanese TV crew, and Simeon Hine, who was with CSETI, he came up and said, "Oh, what are you doing, guys?" We said, "Oh, it's just TV crew. We're doing a reenactment. They're just getting ready with their camera lenses and stuff." And we said, "Have you got your laser with you? Because you're the CSETI guys." He said, "Yeah, I have actually." We said, "Oh, get your laser out, mate." And he said, "Okay." So he got his laser out, and we said, "Oh, can it hit that cloud up there? Can it sort of like get that far?" And he said, "Yeah, probably." It's at twilight. It was getting dark. So he shone his laser at the cloud, and so the cloud went boof like this, and 3 balls of light came out of it. One corkscrewed, one zigzagged, and one shot off. And we were all like, "Whoa!" like that. So we said to the camera crew, we said, look at that. And they were like, "Wow." The producer was like, "Oh my God," and sort of as we was there with this, the camera, he said, get the cameras. So the guys came over and they started filming, and we were like, look at it, and we were like, these balls of light. And we said, "So did they get it? Did they, rewind the footage?" And he went, "Yeah, did they rewind the footage?" And he went, "Oh no!" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "They thought we were doing the reenactment." I'm like, and he said, "Well, they were filming your faces." And I was like, the bloody
Oh.
balls of light are going off in the background. They're filming our faces whilst we're all going, "Whoa," like this.
Oh.
So you a missed opportunity
Yeah,
there.
it
But
does happen though, doesn't it,
yeah,
in the film world?
but I really believe in this, power of synchronicity to get ideas come into your head to do the designs.
Yeah.
And I've had instances where I've been sitting in my house, not got a team together to do a particular design, and I've just felt the urge, like I've got to go out and do this. But I mean, I haven't got a team. It's too late to ring people because, you're coming up to like 11
Yeah,
o'clock
right,
at
yeah.
night. And so I said, well, hang on, I can use a tripod. So I'll get my tape and a tripod, I'll weight the tripod down so it doesn't fall over, and I'll go out and make a really simplistic design. So where am I going to do it? I'm like, okay, I'll go to Avebury. Okay, there's some corn up there, I know. So do this design, and I can hear people nearby, so I'm like very careful because I can hear people. I swear I can hear a guitar and people speaking, and so I get out to there when I finished. It takes about an hour to do the circle, a little circle, and then I think, right, okay, I'll find out who that was nearby. So I put the feelers out. Who was there that night? Sort of like chatting and playing a guitar, and I find out, oh, it's this person I know, and I sort of contact them and I say, hey, apparently you were there when this like crop circle appeared, near you, and they were like, yeah, it's really mad because we were actually meditating on this design, and they showed me the design. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
right.
meditating on this design of a flower, and it's like, and then it appeared like 200 feet away from us, and I'm like, that was me. That was actually me, and it was like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This stuff happens. And
Yeah.
I actually, secretly, I haven't released it, but I did actually have a camera up on the hill set up, and you can just about see the design. It's not really high resolution because it's a night camera, but you can just about see the design. And this has happened on many occasions. There was a time when we had, this is really freaky, Dr. Simeon Hine was there with us on this night, and said, we're running out of time. So he looked up in the sky, and I thought, right, it's going to get light in a couple of hours, and we're halfway through the design, and if we've got this far, halfway through, it's going to take us another, couple of hours to do it. We're not going to have enough time. So I'm like standing there going, we need more time, shit, and it's like, then all of a sudden, like the sky changed, bump, like that, and I said, right, I'd asked people what was the time. earlier on. I said, what's the time? And people said, oh, it's 1 o'clock. Oh, it's 1, it's 1. I'm like, okay. I said, we need more time. We need more time. The sky changed, bang. And I said, what's the time? And they said, well, it's 1 o'clock. And I mean, I know we'd been working for at least another hour. But when I asked for the time a second time, it's 1 o'clock. Hang on, that can't be right. No, mine's like 1 o'clock as well. And it's like, what the hell? And Simeon and I said, do you get that? And he's like, and then I looked up, and the sky was all different. The clouds had come back. The whole sort of sky had changed back to what it was like an hour ago. We were all freaked out. We had the extra time. We had another hour basically
Do
to
you
do
think something might have happened?
something reeled time back.
Yeah, because this is a phenomenon that happens quite a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And missing time or gained time
Yeah.
sometimes, one or the other.
But when I think when you're doing these crop circles, you're there, trying to put energy into it. We all sort of say an oration, like a little meditation thing, before we actually start doing it, and we say we're going to dedicate this for humanity. We're going to do this for the planet, and let's put energy in there and try and be positive whilst you're doing it. So when we're actually stomping, because it's quite tiring, you get into like a meditational. It's like almost like a chant in your head, like I tend to do it with like energy when I'm sort of doing the designs.
Yeah.
And I think that if you ask for something, it kind of you're doing a big sigil, you're doing a big symbol, which is like a magical symbol, and things happen. There was a time when it was raining on us, and I was getting wet and it was cold. This happens a lot, by the way, getting wet and cold.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I was like really like, oh god, my back is aching because of it. My shoulders are starting to stiffen up, and I just said, it'd be really nice if it could just stop raining. And then it's like it died down to like just a mist, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's just a mist. I can deal with that. That's nice. And then I could see, like in the distance, it was raining. I walked to the edge of the circle, and outside the circle it's raining, and inside the circle it's not. So I kind of walked around the circle and checked this out. And I said, hey guys, come and have a look at this. Inside the circle it's not raining. Outside the circle it is
That
raining.
is strange. Yeah, right.
And above us was like an oval in the cloud, and it stayed with us, even though the wind should have been blowing it away. Yeah, it stayed with us above us like an oval, and it wasn't raining, and it was raining outside. But do you know when you kind of done enough circles and you've had enough weird experiences, we've seen black figures that have disappeared. Some of these have been photographed in the daylight by people that have seen
What, like Men in Black type thing?
black shapes.
Black shapes. What, like
that-
shadow people?
Yeah, that are almost too black for the image that is there. If you look at my coat and your coat.
Yeah, because a lot of people have had experiences with shadow people, haven't
Yeah.
they?
And if you take a photo of us now with our black clothing on, and then you take a photo of one of these things,
Yeah.
they're darker than
Yeah.
black,
Yeah.
than the black in your photo. So it's almost like light subtraction. There's something going on there. And we've seen these figures in the crop circle, because you tend to count how many team members you got. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like, and then you count your sticks when you leave, because you have to make sure that you take all your equipment with you. So you count everything. So I like counting along. And it's like there's an extra team member. So it's like, who's that? So I walk over, and it's like, oh no, that's my mate. And it's like, so who was that I was standing next to? And it's like, that one's gone. And it's like, oh frick. I was just standing next to one, and I'm like counting team members, but it's actually that one's disappeared, and it's like shit.
So although you're saying that the crop circles, most of them are man-made, they do cause weird paranormal experiences.
Yes,
Without a doubt,
for
yeah.
everybody that goes into them and the people that make them, it's a really interesting thing. And my message I'm trying to get across to people is, it's not negative that people make the crop circles. In fact, if you can just embrace that it might be people,
Yeah.
and maybe try doing it yourself, yeah, whilst you're out there, dedicate the circle towards something good.
Yeah.
And then if you're not like asking to sort of do anything bad with the energy, ask for something like, can we see a UFO, or can this be for goodness?
Yeah.
Dedicate it towards something good. I don't think it would be a good idea to dedicate it to something
Bad.
negative.
No.
So
No.
keep it all positive,
Yeah.
and just ask for something and see if you can have it.
And if people want to find out more about you and some of your videos and information, how can they do that?
Yeah, we've got a TV show called Circlemakers TV. We're going to be coming back on this summer. We're going to get some guests on from international locations. We've got international circle makers, of course, America, Italy. There's lots of people around the world doing this. It's not just people in Britain, because that's a question they ask. Is
And
like,
do you have
well,
an internet site or anything? Or...
Yes, it's www.circlemakerstv.com. circlemakerstv.org.
Yeah.
And if you just type in Circlemakers TV as one word,
Yeah.
Google search, you'll find us really
Yeah, that's
easily.
really cool
Yeah.
there. And your name again, just for
Matthew
viewers?
Williams with
Matthew
two
Williams.
T's.
Yeah, with 2 T's.
2 T's and 2 sugars.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
people want to get in contact with you and share any experiences or anything like that, how can they do that?
Get in touch through the internet. We've got
Yeah.
a email address, and when the show is on, they can interact with us live whilst the show is
And
taking
you said
place.
something about being able to use Google Hangouts or something, yeah? That's
Yeah,
something
we're
you're
going to
thinking
try
about doing?
Google Hangouts this summer. We're going to get international guests. We're going to just basically do it like a hangout. So we've got people who've got experience in this field
Yeah.
to just talk from all over the world, but without having to use the fuel to come to the studio.
Yeah, right.
And just Google Hangouts is the future, I think. Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. That is. I want to say thanks very much for letting me interview you there, Matthew.
Thanks a lot,
Much
mate.
appreciated
All the
there.
best, yeah.
Thanks for being on UFO
Cheers.
Hunter.org UK.
Yep.
And thanks for the interview. It's really interesting there.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
I'm going to cover again now, look.
There you go. Right, Hunter here again, and we're going to do an interview now with a crop circle maker, Matthew Williams. Probably well known, you probably know of him. And there's who you used to make crop circles there.
I did, yeah. The Bilderbergers are leaving, by the way. They're all shouting over there, going like in megaphones. But yes. Used to make crop circles. Now I just do this TV channel called Circle Makers TV, trying to help people understand the truth about what's behind crop circles and why people make them, and why they're real, even though they're made by people.
Yeah. And do you think all crop circles are man-made, or?
Mostly all the crop circles that I've experienced, man-made.
Because there is some footage out there, isn't there, of orbs that are supposed to be making crop circles.
Yeah, I mean, I was badly interviewed, unfortunately, by a TV company the other day, and I got sent this disc, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be interviewed on that. And one of the things they did is they cut me up, so they asked me my opinion on that footage, which is called the Oliver's Castle footage.
That's right.
And it was made by a guy called John Wabe.
Yes.
He worked for a TV company that had their offices inside the HTV studios in Bristol.
Yeah.
Now, I was interviewed, like, what do you think about that footage? And I said, well, it's CGI for a start, and then cut. That's it. And then they go to some crop circle researchers who go, yeah, couldn't have been made by people. It would have to be like really impressively done. And how could they have gone and sort of like filmed that footage in the morning and then produced this, this.
Well, you've got your opportunity now to say what they cut out. So.
Well, they cut out the fact that I said his name is John Wabe. He
Yep.
works for a TV company and he's a CGI artist.
Yes.
Yeah. He would have had time to take it from the 4 o'clock in the morning. It gets light, so then he could have gone to Bristol and brought it over in the afternoon. So yeah, definitely he had time to do it. And especially if you did all the orb stuff first, all he was doing is superimposing it. Like you have a green screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was basically superimposing his balls of light footage on top of the crop circle, bang, and off you go.
A lot of people might be disappointed to hear that crop circles are man-made, though.
Well, this is why I did the TV show, because there's a lot more to it than that. It's not just about being man-made, it's about the fact that people who make the circles have had strange experiences, seen balls of light whilst they've been making the circles.
Have they?
Yeah, I have. And
Have you had that experience
I've
yourself?
had that experience.
Could you tell us about one of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen balls of light sort of lift off and move. You have little sort of speckles that appear, and you think like, is my vision going wrong? Because you see like little lights go around. We've had flashes of light where the whole sky sort of illuminates and there's no thunder sound. I even got a scientist along because we were telling him about this flashing, and he said, that's bullshit, mate. He said, because I'm a scientist, I'm an astronomer, I'm out there every night, and I've never seen these flashes. We said, well, come and watch us make a circle and see if you see them. And he was out there, and lo and behold, he saw these flashes. He said, well, I don't understand what this is.
Well, I've actually seen flashes in the sky myself.
Yeah.
When I've been out UFO hunting,
There
and
we
I
are.
flashed a torch back at them, and they flashed back at me.
Yeah.
So I know that you're telling the truth on that,
can get a
100%.
reaction.
I've actually got it on film.
Yeah, they've got Stephen Greer. I mean, he uses his lasers.
Yes,
I've used lasers
I
to
have
get a
as well.
reaction. I mean, sat in a car near a crop circle once, and we had this ball of light that literally from arm's length, I'd say, was probably like that in the sky. I mean, my friend, we got out of the car, we were sort of holding each other by the shoulders, literally, like we thought we were going to get sort of taken away by something. So yeah, I'm not a disbeliever, but I started off as a UFO researcher. Used to do a lot of TV programs, radio shows,
Yes.
write for UFO magazine when it was still around, UFO reality magazine, Alien Encounters magazine.
Yeah.
So I've done all that sort of stuff, and many TV documentaries.